What's up, everybody? It's another edition of Fireplace Friday. I'm your host, Jeremy, Fluesbrothers Chimney Service. I've been working a little bit, so I'm a little sweaty. It's a little hot and humid outside. Missed you last Friday. I was doing an inspection on a friend's chimney that is buying a house. And so I was a little tied up, a little late today because I had to run out on another appointment. So we're moving and shaking, and that's good. It's been a very busy week. There's been off and on rain, so as rain starts falling, we get a lot of rain-related calls. And I want to chat about that. If you look at one of the videos we posted yesterday, had an interesting noise in a chimney yesterday. A customer had said, "Oh, I think I have birds," and we went out to check, and the technician kind of beat on the damper a little bit and heard raccoons, a lot of raccoons. And that's not cool. Of course, the homeowner, when he came in, he said, "Oh, I've never had any problems, never had chimney caps on the chimney, never had problems or what have you." He's been having raccoons. Just didn't know it, but they heard him, and so now there's going to be an expense to get those animals out, get those critters out safely, and then obviously some repair work needs to be done as soon as possible. What's up, Kenny? So So one of the things that we've had going on around the world headquarters here is we had some drain issues and stuff, and luckily I'm pretty handy when it comes to doing things, since I do chimney stuff, got a trucks full of tools, constantly having to work on things, so I'm pretty well versed in working on things. Not a big plumber though. I can fix it, I can do it, but I'm just not a fan of doing plumbing, and I just get too worrisome about water all over the place, things like that. But regardless, had a drain backup, had a company out, and I still hold to this day. There's two types of service companies out there. One is service-based, and then you're going to have your companies that are sales-based. Both companies need to exist in this world. Usually the sales-based companies are all about the sales. The technical-based companies are a little bit more about the technical side. But there's also kind of your mix between the two. The sales-based businesses are very focused on sales, and there's nothing wrong with sales, but they're going to be the ones that typically can jump right on a problem for you, get in there, get it done. They might not do the best job. It will be expensive, but it's done, and you've got that immediate problem solved quickly. The technical-based companies will usually, they might be a little slower because it's very hard to get people to a very good level of technical training. It takes a long time. Not everybody stays with jobs forever, so in order to become an expert in something, you have to keep doing it. And so it's hard for employers. You think to yourself, how many jobs have you had in your lifetime? Probably a few, because maybe one got tiring, maybe you didn't like changes or what have you. Maybe you were offered more money somewhere else, or more opportunity. Hi, Linda, how you doing? People move on, and that happens. Yeah, it happens. So anyway, of course, when your drains are backing up, you start calling, and whoever the heck can get out there the fastest is who you're hoping to get out there, and we did that, and it was a little bit too heavily sales based, and it was a little frustrating because right off the bat they took one little look at it and said, "Oh, need to replace the whole thing." I said, "Guys, look, it's an old building. I understand, but I know you aren't going to be able to get right out here and replace it like right now. And we've got girls here at the office. We have techs here at the office. We've got a lot of people that come and go. And we have to be able to use our plumbing." Hi, Jill. Oh, good. You like your electric fireplace. Awesome. Awesome. We're happy to do it. That was a good job. I wish I could throw little pictures up here as I'm talking. So at any rate, I told him, hey, let's get the drain cleaned and go from there, okay? Because we need to get the immediate problem out of the way, and nothing has collapsed. It's simply blocked, and then we'll chat about it, because I understand it's an old building. We're going to have old pipes. Absolutely, it needs to be changed out. So, anywho, they got it unplugged. Everything was back to normal. We were able to bring the girls back for the next day, and we had restrooms working and water draining and everything, and it was good. Well, so I started doing my due diligence. They wanted to send a salesman out. They couldn't do the pricing for me right there and then, so they wanted to have a salesman out and make another appointment. Never heard back from them. And I was like, well, I need to call somebody. So I called a trusted company that we've used before, and they came out, took a look, and I said, hey, this is what they're telling me. They didn't find the problem that the other company did. That is a big issue. That was very disheartening. So I said, well, okay, regardless, that just buys me some time. Regardless, it's going to back up again because we have old pipe and it's all scaling on the inside. It's old cast iron pipe. We probably need to switch it out to PVC. So let's just go ahead and get it rolling or what have you. They said, well, you might be better off calling a company that does this all the time. They can get it done, blah, blah, blah. So, okay, fine. So I got a referral from them, called this other company, and they sent someone out lickety-split. And that gentleman took a look and said, we got to get an estimator out here. I'm like, oh, man, guys, I told you this is what we need. Very frustrating. Time, tons of time. Oh, there you go. I got a phone call. Sorry. So I called, I said, okay, when am I going to hear from the salesman or what have you? You'll hear from him later on this afternoon. And this was 8 o'clock in the morning. Later on in the afternoon came, didn't hear anything. Next day, didn't hear anything. By the next day, we're talking 2 days after, I thought, well, I've got to get this rolling. I don't want to go through where, middle of the day I'm getting a phone call and we've got a problem and then we have to send the staff home because we got water backing up at the shop. So I checked with a friend. A friend of mine gave me a referral, called that gentleman. He said, hey, I don't go to Kansas City, Kansas, but you need to call these guys. And I called that company. And a big amount of relief came over me. When I called that company, someone answered the phone. They got me to the person that could help. They asked me a few questions, very professional, and said, we can get a technician out to you. They didn't get it out to me the first day, I did all this yesterday, so they aren't going to get to me today. They aren't going to come out over the weekend. They're going to come next Tuesday. That's fine. They gave me a window of time, very small window of time, and they're going to call me 30 minutes before I get there. I started feeling so much better. That company that I called last runs their service similar to us. And I did ask them, I said, now, whoever you send out, can they give me a price on site so we can get this set up and I can make a decision? Yes, that's how we do it. So no high-pressure salesman, no another appointment, all of these frustrating things. And they gave me an exact time, not just a random. Because here's the irony. That last company, not the one that is coming out Tuesday, but the one that was referred that had came out here and promised they will get right back with you, sent out a salesman, called me yesterday right after I got off the phone with the plumber that's coming out Tuesday and said, hey, we have a technician in your area and he's going to swing by and he's going to see you. And I go, guys, I'm not even at my shop. And this is a very large, well-known company in Kansas City. And I just thought, man, how do these big companies run these things? And as a consumer, my frustration level's all the way up here. I just want to get it fixed. I want a good job. I want someone I can trust. But when they can't get back to you, when they say they're going to get back to you, the trust is lost. Or if you get other people out. Now I know some problems might be bigger to others as they are to these people, but I did have two other plumbers say the problem that the first drain cleaner said, it's not, the pipe isn't broken. It isn't broken. And that was extremely disappointing, because that not only is a huge local company, that is a huge national company. In fact, I'll give you a hint. That company was featured on Undercover Boss. And when I watched that Undercover Boss, I was impressed. But obviously that company's evolved, and that's disappointing. So, Jeremy, what's the moral of the story on this? The moral of the story is that you just need to realize what kind of company you're dealing with and understand that. Not saying that all companies that can get right to you are bad or sales-based or what have you, but as you're chatting with that person that comes out, or even making the appointment, if they can't give you some more detail, like, okay, we'll be there between this time or that time, not 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. We'll be there at some point. And they have good credentials, and they have good online reviews, and they have good ratings. Other people recommend them. All that stuff. Those are the companies you need to go with, and whatever they're charging is probably how much you need to pay. But if you have somebody that's extremely unorganized, or they don't answer their phones during business hours, maybe if there's a high call volume time, that's understandable. But a guy trying to do the work and answer his phone and do 5 other things and everything probably isn't going to be able to give you the attention that a well-ran company can. And I view everything as a full circle. When a technician comes to your house, when you call, make an appointment, they're able to give you a time with a short arrival window. They're going to call you en route, so they aren't wasting your time. You're gonna get information from them, whether it be on paper or paperless. Paperless is better, especially with these times. They're gonna show up, and they're gonna be experts. They're gonna show up in a marked vehicle. They're gonna have uniforms on. They're gonna have proper PPP gear, which we've talked about. They're gonna try to make you feel comfortable. They're gonna have video scans, so they can show you photos of what's going on, and then they're gonna complete that circle and be able to give you options of repairs or estimates or what have you on site, and have all the right tools, not have to leave the job 18 times when they're coming out for service. Now, if they're doing a repair and they tear into something and they go, oh my gosh, we didn't expect that, we need to run and grab something from a warehouse, or hey, we're going to go have lunch or what have you, absolutely understandable. But if they're there for simple service or whatever, unless they're kind of doing a little bit extra and they want, hey, if I run to Home Depot real quick, I can just fix this for you right now and you'll be in great shape. That's fine, but they shouldn't get to your place and need to borrow tools, or act like they don't want to do the work. Oh, that's back in a crawl space. Well, I think you just need it replaced. What are you talking about? Those items, if you're a drain cleaner, you should be used to that stuff. So this isn't really a rant. It's more of a chat. We had a few other service companies out, and we were very disappointed. But I had a gutter company replace all the gutters at our house. Fantastic job. Ran magnets afterwards. Got there not only on time, but also we were a day early. They had another job reschedule at the last minute, so they called us, and that was great because it freed up my Wednesday. And when they were all said and done, they worked their tails off all day, and we bought them pizza because they were doing a good job. So as a consumer, I want to offer those people that are working hard, especially out in the heat, I'm going to offer them some water, some pop. Hey, I'm running an errand. You want me to pick you guys up some Gatorade? Hey, I'm gonna order some lunch. You guys want a pizza? What kind of pizza you like? Those things, you're always going to get a little bit better job, and people remember those things. So it's good to do those things for people. It's good to project happiness, and be a little understanding and accepting. When that gutter company left, there was 2 screws on the ground that I found over in a corner. They're human. That's going to happen, but all the other stuff that was all over the ground, they ran a magnet over it all, got it all picked up. They did a good job. They didn't leave the house until 7 o'clock at night. That's just nuts. But they it was fine by me. It didn't bother me. They wanted to keep working, so they kept working. That's great. So experts, I've been reading a book on the difference between experts and amateurs, and I'm finding there's a lot of amateurs out there. You always want to use experts. Not only will you get a great job, but you'll also waste a lot less time and money. So always look for the experts in industries. And if you get an amateur here and there or something, don't freak out. Don't yell and scream. Don't write a bunch of bad reviews online trying to get revenge or something like that. I've got more stories of other, now I know who not to use. And unfortunately, if somebody asks me in the future, I'll say, hey, I had a bad experience with this company or that company. Maybe you should try this company. So the company leaders that are listening to me out there, make sure you're the guy that gets the referrals. Don't be the other. Don't be the other. So let's talk about water entry here. I won't keep you all day. If you want to bounce off and jump back on later, that's cool. So it's been raining a lot. And my gosh, last night, this morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, I woke up. Holy moly, it sounded like nuclear bombs going off. It was crazy. And then had to ride my motorcycle into work this morning. And I had to dodge down trees. It was crazy. So let's talk about our two most common water entry types of chimneys, I should say. Two most common types of chimneys. Let me turn this around. So here's our leak audit worksheet. Now, of course, it's very impossible to pinpoint every point where a chimney can leak. So we approach it as a holistic approach. Now, once we go out there, if you go, well, I don't want to approach it like a holistic approach, where should I start? We'll gladly tell you where we think you should start, but if it keeps on leaking, water entry isn't just one point. It's usually multiple points. And it's very hard to pinpoint. Of course, we do water tests and we use our expertise and everything, but we want to make sure you're not disappointed, and we're making sure that we're addressing every point of water entry on a chimney. So when we look at the masonry chimney here, we've got the chimney crown, which is the concrete top portion. We've got a chimney cap, and one large chimney cap to fit over the entire top with an overhang works like an umbrella on top of your chimney, so none of the water rolls down the chimney. If we just use a little single flue chimney cap, then it's going to run down the chimney and it can cause it to leak. Obviously, damaged masonry, if the bricks are flaking or if they're falling apart. Shoulders right here. If you see a lot of water getting into the firebox front, usually it's because your siding isn't matching up your shoulders well. There's some holes there, so that area needs to be filled, caulking up and down the sides, etc. Moisture protection. You'd be shocked. Bricks are like sponge. And they every little crack and crevice will just seep water all over the place. Corbelling. So if you have stair stepping of the brick, the water will get hung up and it'll find its way in. And then the notorious flashing. So many times, so many leaks are caused by bad flashing. Roofers don't do a good job of doing flashing. We cut it in. We fabricate flashing here at the shop so we can do the best flashing possible. Then we've got one other thing that unfortunately we as chimney sweeps stick to the chimney. So this isn't really chimney related, but it is drainage, gutter, groundwater. So water will get over here. So that as a homeowner, you never want ground and everything sloping back towards the house. So if you need to throw down some dirt or put in a drain or what have you, usually you call a landscaper or the person that mows your grass. It will have somebody or does it themselves, and that can be a point of water entry. So if you fix everything else, or if we see something funny, we'll mention it. That's another area, especially if you're getting water in the basement. Now, let's go to prefabricated fireplaces. So here's your standard chimney that has siding on it, and it has a metal firebox and a metal chimney. So number one area where we see water come in, the chase top. The chase top is a metal pan that goes over the top. of the chimney and allows the pipe to penetrate through. We redo those all the time. In fact, I'm building 2 of them this weekend. We do them with stainless steel so they don't rust. The old ones are usually galvanized. They're probably 15 years old, and they're leaking, they're sagging. The collar could be bad. We replace the collar around the pipe as well. The chimney cap can be a problem sometimes, especially if it has holes in it or it's wore through or it's rusted. On this, obviously, damaged siding can cause leaks, rotten wood, things like that. Again, with the shoulders again. Again, with the drainage or the groundwater, that can be a problem. Usually you'll see the water in the basement at that point. Caulking down sides, maybe it's been a while since we painted the house and it needs recaulked. And then the notorious flashing, no cricket. Cricket is an upside down V. Now, obviously, this one wouldn't need a cricket. This one, the roof acts as the cricket. As you can see, the peak of the roof goes on the back side. But if the roof goes down into the chimney, you want to put a cricket on the back side. And we do crickets. We build crickets, and they're fantastic. We make them out of stainless steel, and we build them to your spec. And it doesn't cost any more than how we used to do it, which was we built them on site. So if you have water problems, give us a call. We'll get out there. We'll do a full leak audit. We'll give you all these different areas. We'll give you a little consultation, and we'll try to help figure that out for you. Now, let's do a quick reminder. When you have a technician come out to your place, I know you're in a hurry to get that technician out there, but a good company will slow the process down just a bit and make a real appointment with you, not just a, hey, we'll be there randomly. We're going to call you. You might be at Sonic getting lunch, and we're going to say, hey, we got a technician that's heading towards your house right now. No, we don't do that. We set an exact time that fits your schedule and that we're going to be in the area and all that stuff. And with that time, you need to be available. Chimneys can be confusing, but it's very easy with a trained technician that knows what they're talking about to explain everything to you, utilizing all the photos we take and everything. There's a lot of Zoom meetings going on right now. There's a lot of online stuff, things of that nature. We understand, but you need to see if you can schedule us during your downtime. Because if you just point and go, yeah, it's right over there, and then you have to bounce or you can't give us some attention, at least at the end, so we can go over everything with you so you can make logical decisions and get questions answered, then the process doesn't really work, because all you're looking at is problem and price at that point. Well, that doesn't add any value to anything when all you see is problem and price. And magically, the number one thing most companies get when they give the problem and the price from somebody that hasn't had anything explained to them is they go, well, that was more money than I thought it would be. Well, how much did you think it would be? I don't. Most people don't get specialty work done. When we got a contractor and out to remodel an office at our house. And I kind of knew just from my background, okay, it's probably going to be about this much. But we didn't know until they came out and they went through everything with us. We told them our expectations. They gave us the reality behind those expectations. And then they worked up a price based on that, and to get us where we needed to be. And so but we took the time, and it took several hours out of my day, which is very hard sometimes. But I made the time, I scheduled it, shut my phone down, gave them my attention. And you know what? They're doing the job, and they're going to do a great job because we both are on the same team. We're working as a team. So my big suggestion is make the time to be involved. You don't have to follow the technician around or what have you, but at least make the time to be there, not at your office, at your home, so you can get your questions answered and everything can be explained, because it's very easy when the guys go over all the photos and everything. Now, let's say you're extremely busy, something pops up, etc., etc. Our company, now that the COVID thing is starting to slow down a bit, we offer 2 things. If you don't want to be around other people, we can do a Zoom meeting with you. Now, the nice thing about Zoom meetings is we have your attention, and now we can throw up the pictures and everything. That's great. We don't charge for it right now because it's just a specialty thing. Most people don't need it. Most people can, make the time to be there live, which is the most effective way. The second way, we are starting to open back up by appointment only, where if you couldn't be at the appointment, or maybe the spouse couldn't make a decision, needs a little bit of input, and rather than us talking over the phone over something, chimneys are confusing. Chimneys are confusing. The best way is to meet face to face. Come in here. We do by appointment only. Don't just show up because I might not be here. But you get to come in, and most of the time, about 90%, you get to talk to me. And we throw up your pictures right here. Now, don't laugh at my messy desk. We throw it up right here on the big screen TV, and I got everything on your file right there, and we go over everything. Then we look at different options and everything. Hence, that's why we're putting in our little boutique showroom, because so many times people go, well, that's great. I wish I could see it live. And we go, yeah, we need to do that. So we are doing that. So a lot of these products, we're going to have chimney caps in there. We're going to have examples. Heck, I'll even take people on a tour of our sheet metal shop. They can see stuff being made. I want it to be a real live experience with people, so they can appreciate and see the value in things. And that's a cool thing. It's a cool thing. We got some neon going up on the building to make people more aware of where we're at. Good things are happening. So we're putting all that bad stuff behind us, and all the bad stuff that's going on in the world. We're not watching the news. We're not going to let people drag us down. We're going to keep moving forward, and we're going to shed some happy light on the chimney world for our customers and keep on doing good things. So that's that. All right. Hopefully this wasn't boring. Hopefully this was informative. Hopefully everything's good. It's supposed to be a decent weekend. We're going to go to the dog park in the morning, and the dogs are going to be so happy. Hopefully they don't get too muddy. But hopefully the rain's going to give us a little break over the weekend. But if it doesn't, it doesn't. Because when it rains, the phone rings. When it rains, chimneys leak. So anyways, which is good for us, bad for people. But the nice thing is, you've got a good company that's on your side and can help you with that. So everybody, Kim, Junior, Steve, Julie, Dave, Bonnie, Jasmine, anybody else that I missed, thank you for tuning in today. Have a great weekend. I hope your day is awesome. I'm having an awesome day. Very thankful for what I've got. Thankful for all of you, especially the people in my life. And we will see you next Friday for Fireplace Friday. Have a good one.